You know,
He
there's
dove
no
off
going
the
back
deep
now.
end, ladies and gentlemen.
I did. I took a leap of faith.
He's
you know?
gone.
Yeah.
We may not see him on a podcast anymore if you guys are wondering why. All right, cuzzo, hit him with that intro.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Electives Podcast. This is going to be episode 34. And today, man, is a big episode. Why is it a big episode? Because I got something to announce to the people out there.
There you go.
You know,
There you go.
Your boy is officially off the market.
Oh,
I'm officially
man.
engaged. You know,
Man,
it's a big step. It's a big step. You know,
He
there's
dove
no
off
going
the
back
deep
now.
end, ladies and gentlemen.
I did. I took a leap of faith.
He's
you know?
gone.
Yeah.
We may not see him on a podcast anymore if you guys are wondering why.
Yeah, man. Wifey's got me locked down. No, man. No, it's a beautiful thing. You know, it's a great space to be in. You know, I've been with my fiance now for a little over 2 years. So I just felt like it was the right time. You know, there's things that I want to do. There's things that I want to build in the future. I want to try to provide as much structure as I can for my future family, for my future children. And ultimately, you know, this was one of those steps in that direction.
Yeah. So getting into, you know, relationships and marriages or engagements, you know, obviously that's the second step. So not you don't have to necessarily personalize it for you, but what do you think it means for somebody or for a man to take it from, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend to getting engaged? What does that look like? Yeah, what does that look like for even a young man or even older? I mean, we're in our 30s, so I mean,
I'm 32.
You waited a little while.
I did wait a little while, and the reason why I waited, I mean, there's been, you know, previous relationships that I have been in that, you know, where I thought that, you know, that we were ready to take that next step, but, you know, having hindsight now and having some more life experience, I realized I wasn't ready, and that's why I never did it, you know. But being at the space, man, and being 32 and having a different viewpoint on life.
Yeah.
Being a boyfriend and girlfriend is cool.
Yeah.
But getting engaged is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different level of responsibility. It's a different level of commitment.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with that.
Naturally, couples, man, you're going to have your disagreements. You're going to have your arguments. You know, you're going to have your fights. When you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you can just leave.
Yeah.
You know? It's not leave in the sense of like, you know, break up, but I mean,
right.
you can just, you know, you don't have to
stay.
You
can call it quits if you want.
Yeah, you can call it quits if you want. But getting engaged and making that commitment to someone means a lot, you know. And I'll be honest, it wasn't until I did it that I really felt how important it actually is to do. Yeah. If that's the route that you want to go. You know, everybody's relationship is situational. Right. So I'm not telling anybody to do it, you know, just because I did it. I'm just saying if it feels right and if you know you want to be with that person, if you want to build with them, don't be afraid to take the leap. Yeah. It's not as bad as you think, you know. It's not.
It's not as bad as the TikToks that are out there.
No, man, and that's something that we've discussed, you know. Now on social media, there's a lot of negativity when it comes to relationships, you know. Right. A lot of things are clickbait, you know, and it's just to gain attention. And here on this particular podcast, man, that's not what we're really about. Right. You know, we want to give substance. We want to create things that are authentic, you know, and they're going to last through the test of time. So.
Yeah. Now, being I always forget, man, you're 32, right?
Yes, sir.
32, yeah, because you're younger. Do you feel like there's a waiting period before somebody should get engaged or like a dating period, boyfriend, girlfriend, you know what I'm saying?
I think the 2 to 3 year mark is a good mark.
Like you should know by then?
Yeah. Okay. You know, and if you can, and once again, I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to do it. I just think that these are things that you should think about before you know, want to go down this road. Right. But even living together. Yeah. You know, I believe that you should live together before you propose, before you get engaged, so that you can really see how this other person lives and see if you guys can coexist well, you know.
Yeah, because you really don't know somebody till you live with
them. Because you can't hide anything. When you live together, you can't hide anything. Nope. Right? And it's the little stuff. It's the day-to-day stuff that's really the most important. Yeah. You know, you're gonna have problems, you're gonna have issues. That's life, you know. But it's the day to day that you want to see if you guys can coexist.
Yeah.
You know?
So what do you think? So 2 to 3 years, if you can't make that decision, then should somebody not waste the other person's time? Or do you think like there's still more time to try to figure it out?
I'll be honest, I can't speak for everyone, you know, because I don't know what
the situation could be different.
Exactly. You know, things happen. I mean, people get sick. There's health issues that come into play. There's family issues that come into play.
Right.
The age that they're at, you know, somebody's obviously 18, 19 years old and they've been with somebody for 2-3 years. I wouldn't say I wouldn't be pushing for them to get married that soon. You know, I think it also depends on the age that you're at.
Right.
I think if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, or in your 30s, 2 to 3 year mark, you should know. You're mature enough. You should be mature enough, you know, to be able to recognize if you're ready for that step.
Right.
You know.
Right. But, because time is ticking.
It is,
especially for women.
Yeah, that too.
You know, that clock is ticking. So if the man ain't ready to make that decision, then maybe the decision's got to be like, all right, you know, it ain't gonna be me.
No, that's true. That's true. And you bring up a very good point because yes, women do have a biological clock, and if a woman hasn't had children, you know, in her 20s, and she's approaching her 30s,
right?
It only makes sense. It's only right that her mind starts thinking about it,
right?
You know, and so yeah, man, it's very, very, you know, hindsight, right? Hindsight, even in my relationship, in my situation, it's interesting just thinking back to all these little things that are important to think about.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, yeah.
So you talk about generational cycles,
Mm-hmm.
you know, breaking generational cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Dive in a little bit of that. What, how that tied into, or maybe how it ties into engagement in general.
Well, I think that, you know, my parents, and I always say it's not a knock against them. It's not a knock against anybody's parents, right? Your parents are your parents. You know, you're just thankful that you're here. But they got married really quick. You know, they were only dating for a short period of time. They got married because I came into the world, and they didn't really have time to get to learn each other, to get to know each other, to get to coexist with each other.
Kind of old school.
Yeah.
You know, old school way to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to make sure that when I do have children, like I said before, that I provide as much structure as I can.
Yeah.
Right. Number one, choosing the right woman to be with is the most important thing I think a young man, or anybody for that matter, can do. Right. Because you look at all the successful men in the world, or successful people in the world, the number one thing that they say is more important than money or resources is choosing the right partner. Because who you choose to lay next to, when you put your head on that pillow at the end of the night, is everything, you know.
Right.
A woman can make a man, and she can also break a man, you know.
Yeah.
And so me being conscious about that, you know, wanting to find a woman that I really felt like had my back and had my best interests at heart, you know. Yeah. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, because you got to be able to share the same vision, you know, down the road, you know, because if you guys got two different visions, I mean, you guys are never going to be down the same road.
Two people can't drive at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a good idea. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. And then also on the flip side, too, you know, I have daughters. So, you know, I think it's very important for them to pick the right man to be with when they get older.
Right,
you know?
Right.
You know, I don't want them necessarily having to drive the car.
Right.
I don't know if I really feel like women should have to do that. You know, it should be, you know, man, you know,
that's our responsibility.
You know, let him take that's his responsibility. You know, if, so I think on the flip side, like for women, they gotta choose the right ones too, because
they do.
Because you know, we see nowadays, you know, I mean, you probably got boys too. You know, they're dating, you know, single moms, and you know, the single moms out here trying to figure out who's gonna step up to the plate, and that's a totally different ball game.
That is an entirely different ball game.
So
for sure. And, you know, something you brought up, like when you know, you having daughters, and this is another thing that I wanted to do when I was talking about breaking a generational cycle, is I went and asked for her father's blessing, and I went and asked for her mother's blessing.
Yeah, that's old school.
That's old school.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it was more about respect.
Yeah.
You know, I could have done it without their.
Yeah, you could.
You know, it's not. That wasn't. I didn't feel like I was obligated to, but it was a respect thing.
Right.
And thinking about my future children. You know, if I have daughters, I would want the young man or whoever to come and approach me and say, "Hey, you did an amazing job raising your daughter. You know, she's an amazing woman.
Yeah.
And now that she's in my life, I want to give you the courtesy of asking for her hand in marriage because I recognize how much work you had to put in.
Right.
You know, and I respect you for that.
Right. And you're like, I got it from here.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You know, and that's, I mean, not that we're super antiquated in the way that we think, like as far as men. I'm not saying we need to go back to, you know, like the 1800s or anything like that. No, but these little things that I used to think weren't important actually are.
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Yes, and it does matter. You know, it does matter. The little things do matter.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Now, do you think this step that you're taking is or I guess anybody that's probably getting engaged this year, is necessary to create structure for, you know, your future family unit or kids in general?
Yes, I do think it's necessary because I think one thing I've noticed about this, and I've experienced even with my fiance, is that women want to feel safe.
Right.
They want to feel secure. They want to feel protected. Right. Now, I'm not saying it like, you know, like a bear's gonna, you know, come out of nowhere and attack you or anything like that. But it's creating a space, man, where she can be herself.
Right.
Where, you know, you as the man, you're taking the lead. You know, you're guiding your family and your future in the right direction. That makes a woman feel good. From my personal experience, and once again, I can only speak from my own personal experience.
Right.
But the moment that I proposed and the moment that I saw the weight lift off of her, that she doesn't have to worry anymore if we're actually going to be together long term. She doesn't have to think, is he really in this? Those kinds of things, you know. I mean, that's mentally exhausting for a woman.
Well, yeah, because if you guys were to split tomorrow, let's say you guys didn't get engaged, then her clock starts over.
Exactly.
The other year or two starts over, and
exactly,
you don't know what you're gonna get for the next one.
Exactly. And I think as men, it's our job to kind of just try and ease and take the burden off of our women as much as possible. Right. So what I, you know, full circle, and thinking about it, like actually proposing. Mentally now, she doesn't have to. That energy can be put somewhere else. Right. You know, for the both of us, for that matter. Because I was stressing about it. I'll be honest, man. For 2 months, I was stressing because, of course, I wanted to surprise her. Right. I wanted her to feel special. I wanted her to have an experience. You know? And I'm really proud of myself, even, honestly, because through this process and through this journey, there were so many things that happened where I could have said, man, this is too much.
Well, yeah.
I'm just going to call it. I'm not going to do it. I'm too scared. I'm too afraid, you know. And instead, what I did was do exactly what we talk about on this podcast. Yeah. You can't be afraid to take a risk. Yeah, you can't be afraid to bet on yourself, right? Sometimes you got to double down and just jump off the cliff. Yeah. And if you really have faith, like you say you have faith, everything is going to work itself out. Yeah. And so.
No, that's true, man.
Yeah, for me personally, man, I was really proud of myself that I was able to stay grounded, stay humble, and make sure that I hit the target. You know?
Yeah, because it's an investment too.
It is.
You know, it's that relationship is something you're investing in, and you know, the more you pour into it, the more, you know, you'll get out of it. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it's, you know, starting a new business or starting anything new, getting a house, things like that, you know, that relationship is going to determine whether or if you guys are going to be successful in that down the road.
For sure.
So, for sure. No, man, that's good stuff. And when you asked, you always talk about less is more. Yeah. Did you keep it less, or did you go a little more over the top?
No, less was more. But it was also because, like, man, I'll be honest, I froze. Once I got down on that knee, I froze for a split second. I'm
now,
like,
was
wow,
it because your
really
knee
happening.
was locking up? Because it's
Yeah,
old.
you know, that's from all the bad years of basketball. You know, I couldn't. It was hard to get back up. You know, it's hard to get back up.
Oh, man.
No, man, but yeah, it was. I don't know how to explain it, man. It's kind of, you know, anybody who's gone through it or anybody that's done it, they can kind of say the same thing, that it's all like it happened so fast.
It's a blur.
But in the moment, it feels like it's forever.
Yeah.
You know, I think the whole conversation was 2 minutes, but it felt like 10, 20, 30, you know?
Yeah.
And I kept it short and sweet. You know, I just wanted to let her know, hey, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. There's going to be ups and downs, but let's do it together.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And she was hyperventilating. You know, she couldn't catch her breath. And that made it all worth it. You know, all the stress, all the worrying of, you know, I mean, even going and getting the ring.
Yeah.
You know, how I went about doing it. And, you know, you're trying to be secretive. You're trying to hide it. You know, I had to keep the ring somewhere else. I didn't want her to accidentally stumble upon it. You know, I'm on leading up until I purchased the ring. I'm trying to research different stones. Different brands, different, you know, combinations of rings that I would like to get. Because I didn't ask her what kind of ring she wanted. Yeah. I went and picked out something on my own that I felt like she would like. I felt
like it would have gave it away a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I really wanted her to be shocked and surprised.
So what's your biggest fears, you think, now that you're in this space? The next step is obviously officially getting married. Mm-hmm. What are your biggest fears when it comes to that?
I'll be honest with you, I don't have any.
Well, that's good.
I don't.
That's good.
Ever since I did it, ever since I proposed, all the fear went away.
So now you're ready to go.
It's faith over fear,
right?
For me,
yeah.
You know? Then, like I said, and I don't know, maybe one day I will tell the story in the podcast. It's a long story, but the things I had to go through to just propose let me know that I'm grounded in my faith and what I believe.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I can't put my mind to and achieve and accomplish.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And it was a very humbling experience, man. There's almost a spiritual experience when I did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that would happen. I had no idea, you know?
Yeah, because you've never done it.
No, yeah.
But what would you say is probably a big fear in today's society world with
divorce?
Men?
Divorce, I think, is obviously, you know, the biggest, but and maybe that things won't work out, or maybe that the other person will change. They'll become someone different than who they've been.
Which I think it should happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the same person for 10 years, I mean, you're not really growing.
True.
Now if you change towards that person, I think that's a different story. But like I don't believe Malcolm should be the same Malcolm from today in 10 years.
I agree.
Now, if you change up on her, that's a different story.
Right.
But but yeah, I think change is good, man. I think you have to change, because I think some people take marriage as I'm coasting now.
Right. Yeah. No.
You know, you can't. I don't think it's meant for that.
No, it's not. It's not. And like, even for us, you know, I mean, we're in the process now of planning a wedding.
Yeah.
Which is ironic, because getting married in itself was something that her and I both said, like, yeah.
Right.
Just because of what we've seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I always knew deep down in my heart, going back to wanting to have a future family of my own, that I need to try to provide structure. I need to build a healthy foundation.
Right.
And everything else is built up from that.
Yeah.
You know? So even seeing her change, you know, her mindset, you know, now the conversations that we have about the wedding and planning it all out, it's like,
so where do
we even start?
Right. So so let's get into that, because that's kind of like a debate, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like a wedding or a big wedding is necessary? Do you feel like it's a good financial decision for people to make? Because I mean, an average wedding is about $30,000. So let's just you know, that's being real.
You could do a lot.
Right, that's being real. So I mean, you're paying $30,000 for a party.
Yep.
So how do you feel about the whole wedding thing?
I'll be completely honest with you. The logical, rational portion of my brain says just go get eloped. just elope somewhere.
Right.
You know, have a very small, you know, have the. I don't want to. I'm not saying everyone in the family isn't important, but I'm saying like small family, close family. You know, have them there, and then come back and have a celebration, which would be way cheaper to just throw a party.
Right.
You know, the same people are going to be there.
Yeah.
And just do it that way.
Yeah.
But then the other portion of it is my emotional side, I guess you could say, understands that family is extremely important, right? And I have grandparents that are, at least on my dad's side, that are in their my grandmother's 90, and my grandfather's 88, I believe.
Yeah.
I would love for them to see us get married.
Yeah.
She has grandparents that are getting up in age, around the same age. I would love for them to see us get married. I would love for her mother to see us get married. My mother to see us, our families in general see us get married and do the whole process, because we're also setting examples, right, for the future generations that are coming after us. Her nieces, her nephews, my nieces, my nephews, you know, on what it should look like, you know.
So on the devil's advocate side, what do you really, if it's something where you can just pay for it outright, right? Essentially, if you can't, you're borrowing it.
Yeah.
So are you more of like the money? It's not about the money; it's about the experience or the moment, and then you deal with the money later.
After. Yeah.
Or like
well, is it something? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, you're setting them up for the future. So are you really telling your children like, hey man, even if you ain't got it,
right,
you should just do it,
right?
Because it's something you should do.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I'll tell you this right now. I don't think we're gonna spend close to 30 grand. Because I just can't see it.
Hey, we're gonna have a follow-up episode.
We are right. We are right. A year from now, we're gonna be like,
we're gonna have Alex put the sheet on there.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Like, how much did I spend? Yeah. No, but I mean,
because it's a legit question. I think
it is a legit question.
You know, the research I've done, you know, just looking at it, you know, just browsing, like, you know, it's like, man, it's like, damn, people are really paying.
Yeah.
And then that's their payment.
Yeah. See, I don't want to do that. I personally don't want to do it. And I honestly believe in my heart, my fiance does not want to do that.
Right.
You know, I just don't see that that's just not who we are. Right.
Right.
But I do think about time in life, right? You only get so much time.
Right.
You don't know. You just don't know. And you don't know when your parents are going to go. You don't know when your grandparents are going to go. You don't know when anybody's going to go. Right. But all you can take with you are your memories. Right. Yeah. I'm not saying we're going to spend 30 grand, but whatever amount we do spend, we'll be okay with.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be okay with.
Right.
You know, and I've always said this too, man. If you did it once, you can do it again. So whatever amount of money it is, if you've made that money once in your life, you can do it again.
Oh yeah, you can do it.
So there's no real stress or fear when it comes to that. Yeah, particular portion of it. But that was a great question. Yeah, honestly, it's a great question.
Yeah, because I mean, I would think about it like is the backyard wedding more feasible than throwing a big extravagant
and we're not
inviting everybody and their cousins and your second cousin and your cousin from over here. You know,
and I think that's something to be said too, and I think that a lot of young people should really consider this, because my sister-in-law actually said this to me, after I told her the news, and she said, just remember, everyone who's at your wedding is not going to be there for your marriage, and that really resonated with me, right? Yeah. So yes, you want people to come to enjoy themselves, right? But you don't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on people that half of them may not even care.
You don't even talk to them.
There may be a quarter of them that don't like you.
Right.
And then the other quarter are people that you actually love and care about and that reciprocate that energy to you. Yeah. You know, so why spend all that money on people that, at the end of the day, I'm not saying they don't matter, but they don't matter in the scheme of your household, your relationship, your future. Excuse me.
No, I agree with that, man, because I've always been big on, man, if I don't hear from you all year, or if we don't talk all year, I mean, what? Yeah. Why am I gonna worry about if you come or not?
True. Very true. Very true.
I mean, because you're paying for it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah, them plates ain't cheap.
No, you could do. I've seen people do. You buy purchase a ticket.
Yeah.
So really, they ain't paying for it. They're they're charging for the ticket.
Right.
Obviously you'll pay for like your immediate family, but anybody else,
hey,
you gotta buy a ticket, man.
Yeah, man. There's so many interesting ways that you can do it nowadays, and
Right.
it's only been a week and a half for us, so. I mean, we haven't even. We also had family in town.
Yeah.
So right after we came back from the engagement,
Right.
we had family in town. So we haven't even really had a chance to sit down and crunch the numbers and look at all the venues that we want to look at and all that. We'll probably get to that this weekend when things slow down a little bit. But it's a lot.
Yeah, because what is it, like a year and a half away probably?
No,
or
next
is
year.
it gonna be next year?
Yeah, next year. Probably next year in the fall.
All right, cool.
Because I don't see.
I didn't know how venues work, because venues is a whole nother thing.
But that's a great point. You got to see if the dates that you want are available.
Yeah.
And if they're not, then you may have to go with something, a little different. But no, man, it's a whole new space, to be in. So
and no new fears then.
No, none. Faith over fear, brother.
There you go.
Faith over fear.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
No, that's good stuff, man. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting times, and for you and that new space you're in, and a lot of lessons to be learned, man. It's definitely going to be a new journey. So.
Yeah, man, and I would tell any of the young people, like I said, just to remain grounded in yourself. Stay humble. Don't get too far outside of yourself. Make sure you have a relationship with some higher power. It doesn't have to be this one, that one, or anything like that. Just stay grounded, and you'll be all right. There's nothing to really worry about. Like I said, faith over fear, and everything else will work itself out.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. That's a great piece of advice to leave them with.
And also, man, I just thought about this, but I wanted to give a shout out, man, to my brother who's in Poland. I know he'll be watching. I know he'll be listening, and also to my sister-in-law, his wife. They have a kid on the way.
Nice.
So I'm gonna be a uncle.
Uncle, man.
And there's just a lot
you got all kinds of stuff going on. It ain't even Christmas yet.
I know, man. I know. But it's a beautiful space to be in, man. To see the family grow, to see people evolve.
Yeah.
And that's all you really want for the people that you love and you care about. Is for everybody to continue winning. Learning, growing. No losses, only lessons.
Yep.
So it's just a beautiful space to be in, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Man. It's definitely been a nice ride this year, man. So we got, 2 months left.
Mm-hmm.
See what comes in these next 2 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. That's some good stuff. Any last piece of
No, nothing that I can think of. As always, though, we appreciate you guys for watching and listening.
Yep.
Like I said, this was a big episode. I want to say thank you to my fiance. I know I'm not easy to deal with, but I love you and I appreciate you. All right. We'll see you guys on episode 35. Peace.
Peace.